Hey friend, Sequoia here, your spiritual teacher and coach and intuitive reader. Nice to see you again. Today, this morning, if you're in Pacific time like me or whatever other time you might be in, nice to see you again. So today we are gonna get into a teaching on wise boundaries and why we want them, how to set them, how to tell if you need them. So I'm going to share this in a few places, and if you want to, I know some of you in the past have shared my videos, which I love. If you want to share, please do. You can also do your reactions and your comments, which I always respond to. So if you're here with me, let me know. I'm just getting everything set up here. Sharing to, man, Facebook is slow sometimes. Sharing to my business page and my group. So let me just finish doing that. All right, got that done. So here we are. Okay, so the boundaries get a lot of talk, right? And it's kind of a buzzword. There's a lot of buzzwords that go around that are really important, but maybe aren't used or understood properly. So that's why I want to talk about them. And I'm going to give you today a solution for how to not only set boundaries, but set wise boundaries. So I think there's like a difference between setting a boundary and setting a wise boundary. So I'm going to share with you a solution for that. And I'm also going to talk about how you might know, like what could be some clues for you as to where you could use some wise boundaries. So yeah, let me know if you're here. And I also have like a little worksheet for this. If you would like it, put worksheet in the comments and I'll get it to you. So before we get into it, I've opened more spots in my Joyful Spirit coaching program, which if you are interested, if you've been watching these videos and getting value out of them, you would be a perfect fit for that program. So you can also head to my DMs for that and say joy. I'm just looking, I wrote some notes today to make sure I get everything in that I want to say. All right, so boundaries. Some clues that you could benefit from setting some wise boundaries. That's like I want to reframe a little bit from just boundaries to wise boundaries. If you find yourself agitated and upset and feeling like you have emotions and sensations that like maybe aren't yours, if you're like, why am I feeling this way? This could be a sign that you need some wise boundaries. That's a problem that's very frequent among sensitive people and empathic people. If you're sort of like feeling everybody else's stuff and taking it on as your own. Sometimes we don't realize, but if you get like, oh, this, like, what is this? This doesn't feel like mine feeling, that's a good indication that you could benefit from some wise boundaries. if you feel trampled upon in any sense, if you feel like you're often not heard, not listened to, if you feel like you are sort of like the doormat for everybody else, that's a really good indication you could use some wise boundaries. I see some new people watching, so let me know if you are here. Oh, Sherry, I see you want the worksheet. Awesome, so I'll send that to you. Yeah. If you... This gets into the wise boundaries a little bit. If you feel like you do set a boundary and you're like, about it, and people push back, that's pretty common that people push back on the boundaries. But you have that feeling of like, I'm gonna like muscle this boundary. I find that actually opens the door for more pushback. So if you feel that, if any of this is resonating, let me know. If you feel like that, that's where we want to move from just like boundaries, strong is good, but from strong boundaries to wise boundaries. Can you feel the difference in between those words? We get a lot of talk about healthy boundaries too. Healthy is really good. And I want you to like include and incorporate wise into this genre, for lack of a better word. Okay, so I want to be mindful of the time today as well. Reminding myself, giving myself good boundaries, wise boundaries. All right, so let me know if you've felt any of these clues in your own life. If any of this is like, oh yes, this has happened to me. Hey Liz, hey Rebecca. I'll talk to you about the worksheet too, Rebecca. This is a more subtle distinction, but if you are in tune with energy, and probably those of you watching are, whether you're watching now or in the future in the replay, if you are feeling, I want to find the right words here. I'm gonna let my ladies talk here for a second. If you feel that you're getting frequencies, energies from waves from elsewhere, it's good to be mindful. It's good to be aware of where those come from. I'm gonna interpret so it goes a little faster. When you're feeling like things are not your own, or you feel energy coming at you, and you're in tune to that, sometimes those of us who are empathic and sensitive like that. We enjoy feeling that. And you want to be really mindful about where it's coming from and from whom it's coming, from what energy sources is it coming. So, like for example, when I'm here giving these teachings, right, my ladies are very wonderful. My 3 ladies, if you haven't heard me talk about them, I have the blue, pink, and yellow ladies that are part of my spirit team and want me to channel them. I do all the time. If you've ever been in session with me, you definitely got their guidance, but they have been wanting me to channel them more directly. So I've started doing that in these videos. Anyway, they're a very like good and high energy, positive source to be receiving from. So you want to be mindful about what, if that is happening for you, is that the type of source you're receiving from? Or is it like less evolved entities spiritually, and just like also from other people? So you don't have to be an open channel all the time for everybody's stuff. You don't have to be. In fact, shouldn't be. It's exhausting beyond belief. So if you are feeling that you're receiving things that aren't yours, be really clear with yourself. Check in with yourself about where that energy is coming from. So if you are feeling drained and exhausted, if you're feeling like you got to keep saying something over and over and over and over again to be heard, if you're feeling like it's a struggle to set boundaries, right? Like sometimes we set them and then like, yeah, do it again. If that's happening, this is where we want the wise boundaries. So yeah, let me know if this is making sense to you, if you're feeling what I'm saying. I said at the beginning, but maybe not everybody was on. I love it when you share and comment and react to the video. So please feel free to do that. Okay, so a wise boundary versus a strong boundary. Not that strong is bad. A wise boundary, to me, getting the goosebumps, has the energy of a little bit of a lean back. A little bit of like there's power in it, right? There's a wise boundary is not up for questioning. It's like there's a calmness. I'm just gonna get a little water here. There's a calmness behind a wise boundary. Sometimes people get us upset. Sometimes we get upset by other people's actions, and it prompts us to set a boundary. And that's not a bad thing, that's a good thing. But if you I'm going to refer you back to my video on anger here too, because I'm going to say something that is seemingly contradictory, but in the end is not. If you're setting a boundary out of anger, that is a boundary that I find is more likely to be challenged. Anger is a good thing. Go back and watch that video. I'm not saying don't be angry. Anger is a really important place. So if you're like, wait, what? Go watch that video. The last video I did. What I am saying is that when you set a boundary from a place within you of calm determination, you have you ever like been in school and you had a teacher like here's a good example, like the substitute teacher versus like the regular teacher. The regular teacher says, this is what we're going to do. Class does it, more or less. Substitute teacher says, this is what we're going to do. No, we're not. The whole class, like, has a million, but we normally la 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 la, whatever. That's kind of the difference in the feeling within you. So, if, someone, I don't know, I'm just thinking of an example. If someone's like texting you all the time and it's like way too much, and you're like, this is like irritating me, I can't stand it. You don't like what they're saying to you. And so right in that moment you respond back like, stop texting me all the time, this is way too much, I'm finished with this. Even though you said stop and I'm finished, that energy invites a challenge. It invites an aggressive response in return. Let me know if you're feeling this, if you're understanding this. Versus, okay, you get all those texts, it's extremely bothering you. You know this is not okay. You feel all that anger, you let it move through you. You let that happen and see within yourself, like, this requires response from me. This requires response from me, not reaction. Then you get to yourself into this position of a little bit like leaned back, wise self, calm self, peaceful self, and then you mindfully give that same message. Hey, this amount of texting is not okay for me. The way you're speaking to me is not okay for me. So I'm going to take a step back from these conversations. Can you feel the difference between that wise boundary? It doesn't invite as much of challenge. The person may still like text you back, but your energy is different. Your energy is not like let me know if it's making sense. So this is my Sandy, Siri, thank you, absolutely with you, yes, they say, yeah. So this is the way we set our boundaries from the wise place within, the place within that there is no challenge here, right? Like, I'm not setting a boundary to have a fight, I'm setting a boundary to keep myself sane, healthy, safe, protected. And when you set it from that place within yourself, not only does it invite fewer challenges, some people will still challenge you, that's their nature, but it invites fewer challenges. It also invites fewer challenges back from yourself. You set the boundary, someone like, no, whatever. They have their response. They have their reaction, I should say. And maybe you read their reaction, or you hear their reaction, or you see their reaction, whatever. But because you set it from the widest place within you, you feel less of a need to respond in that way. But I said blah, 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 blah. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So let me know if you've had a situation like this where you have had the reactionary boundary, where you set a boundary in reaction and then it was like challenged a million times. Or on the flip side, if you've done this wise boundary setting, it's a practice just like anything else we do. Okay, so let me just look at my notes here. All right. So I also will say I've been talking about my coaching a lot. You probably heard me talk about that. I'm loving it, and I invite you into it if you're the right fit. I have a mentor who calls people your divine assignment. So if you feel drawn in and you feel like a divine assignment to work together, I love that term. It's so beautiful. Then let's get it going into my DMs. But I also want to say that I have taught in the past intuitive energetic hygiene class, which gets into all of this stuff in really good detail. Boundary setting, empathic boundary setting. I'm not going to go into all of the energetic practices because that's a lot. But if you're like hearing what I'm saying and like, I want to work with you, Sequoia, we can do that one-on-one. And let me know if you're like, you know what, I want to take that class. This sounds really good. You can tell me that too. So let's review a little bit. Here's the clues into wise boundary setting. If you feel like you set boundaries and they're ignored, if you feel like when you have set boundaries, you're like in this activated, angry state, this like aggressive state, defensive. That's the word. Thank you, ladies. That was from the ladies. um, if you feel, yeah, like you're defending, which like boundaries are like a defense of our space, and that's fine. But if you feel like you get what I'm saying. Like I'm giving these emotions, these sort of like emotions, because I don't. Sometimes words don't perfectly line up with these kind of things. If you find it difficult to use your voice to set a boundary, to say what's like not okay for you, this can be your literal voice, but it can also be your typing and texting voice, your energetic voice, all of that. If you feel like people walk all over you, if you feel like you're like stomped on, doormat, if you feel that you're getting other energies from people that aren't yours, other entities' energies that aren't yours, and you like need some discernment around what's good and what isn't, how to stop it when you don't want it, when it's not appropriate. These are all signs that wise boundaries are needed, that strong, healthy boundaries with wisdom, with wisdom, with wisdom, with wisdom. The way boundaries are talked about in society, like we get this, they are often talked about that gets us into the feeling of like, you get what I'm saying? That angry feeling, that defensive feeling. It's all okay to have those feelings, but I think it's the smarter, wiser choice to set the boundaries when you've let those feelings wash through you. Doesn't mean you'll never feel it again. It doesn't mean those challenges to your boundaries won't come up again. They'll come up less, but you won't be in the state of like you set the boundaries, someone's like, well, what about blah 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 blah. You'll be less in the state of like trying to explain why. When you set a wise boundary, there is no like excusing yourself for the boundary. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, that's important too. You don't need to excuse yourself for boundaries you set. You don't need to explain yourself to the people for whom you set the boundary. It is how it is. A wise boundary, a leaned back boundary, a boundary that comes deeply, deeply from within you, from response instead of reaction. That's where we want to go. These are the signs. This is what tells you that this is important. Okay, so yeah, let me know if you're feeling it. Stacy says, yes, very helpful. Liz says, I set both kinds, and the one that was reactive is still disturbing. Yes, so you get the wise boundary difference. Totally, Liz. Sherry, raising teens living with alcoholism in the house, I was dying for a decade. Absolutely. So that gets us into deeper work, which I won't fully go into here, but all of that, like any sort of addictive tendency, can lead easily into codependency, which can lead easily into boundary issues. But it's not unconquerable, it's not undealable with. I know you know this, Sherry, but I'll share for other people. If you're in that state, it can be draining and exhausting, but I promise you that it's not unhealable. It's very healable, and you're worthy of it, and you're capable of it. Anybody and everybody watching this ever, forever, you are capable and deserving of healing of any of that stuff. All right, so I'm gonna wrap this up here soon. I'm gonna be live again next Friday, assuming all is well. Some of you heard I threw up my back last week, which is why I wasn't here, but it's getting way better, way better now. I got an amazing treatment yesterday from an acupuncturist and body worker, and I'm feeling, it's not perfect, but like so much better. Really grateful for that. That has nothing to do with today's video, but I just want to speak that out loud. So I'll be live again with another teaching next Friday. And same place, same time. But you can always watch replay if you can't make this time live. And if you didn't join at the beginning, I'm Sequoia, you probably know that. And I am your spiritual teacher and intuitive reader and coach. And I'll see you again soon. So let me know if you want the boundary worksheet, put that worksheet, say worksheet in the comments, I'll get that to you. If you want to get in, I opened more time, more spots for the one-on-one coaching, which I should say a little bit about what we do in there. I support you in your goals for your life. I help you deepen your spiritual practice. I will give you both the spiritual practice tools and the mental health tools in combination. For me, for my clients, for the people who do feel their divine assignment to work together with me, this is the key. It's got to be both at the same time, in conjunction with each other. I do altar work for you as well. I might do a soul journey for you. There's other things that are involved, but we meet on a regular basis to hold you in sacred container, to keep you accountable to yourself. That's a big part of it as well. I don't have a plan to run it, but if everybody is like, I really want the intuitive energetic hygiene class again, let me know about that and I'll run it. If you want it, I will run it. So that's that. Thank you for being here. I love doing these. I love seeing you. And I'll talk to you later. See you in the DMs. Have a lovely, lovely, lovely Friday and weekend. Goodbye.